Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Green Bay Packers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They've been cooking these last couple months, winners of 7 of their last 8 games.
And if you extrapolate that out to a full season, they'd be 14-2. And anyone in the NFL today would sign up for that.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. Pushing through the contact, and he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their highly decorated quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. A dump underneath to Jones. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
Out wide is Davante Adams, named an alternate to his first Pro Bowl in 2017. And how about this for a surprise? 22 receiving touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. That's the most of anyone in the NFL. That's right, anyone. Davante Adams taking advantage of opportunities.
319! 319's banana!
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. Earl Thomas in on the stop. The starters defensively now for the Seahawks. They were terrific last week in the win over the Rams.
This defense has a lot to be proud of coming off of the game they played last week. When you only give up 14 points in a game, not only do you give your team a chance to win, you fully expect to win because you figure your offense is going to score more than that.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12.
319!
Now a play fake. Rodgers. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Back deep, the dangerous Tyler Lockett. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their enigmatic quarterback, the Heisman winner from Baylor. It's Robert Griffin III.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Tremont Williams there to break that one up. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Slow.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it. And boy, the reward was there. A big pickup. And guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that? Who
are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
On 1st and 10, it's Griffin. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And a peek at the defense for the Packers.
A 4th-rounder back in 2012 out of Iowa, Mike Daniels, has been about as good a 4th-rounder as you could hope for. A strong defensive tackle, named an alternate selection to the Pro Bowl after the 2017 season. Why? Ability to play the point of attack, and also get upfield and spill plays in the backfield.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play action. Now Griffin. And that is incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. These two teams met in week 1 a year ago, and that went to the Packers in a slugfest 17-9. Now remember, they also met in the NFC title game of the 2014 season. It was the Seahawks who prevailed there 28-22 on a Jermaine Kearse touchdown catch in overtime. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
We got it. Good job, D. Good job, D.
So the next time we leave one of those coaches meetings and we're walking out in the hall and you're like, how come we spend so much time talking about special teams?
Here you go. This is why.
This is why, right? And look, I'm right there with you. We hear it every time we meet with coaches, but it is a big part of it. And look at how early in the game this occurs. They block a kick, and not only does it set a tone, it sends a message for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so much for our first points of the game. This is Jones. And he showcases the spin. A pretty good game before he's taken down. The numbers for Jones last week, 18 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown as well.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
On second down, it's Jones. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Here's Jones. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 1 quarter in the books here on a Thursday night. 0-0 our score. We'll be back to Seattle right after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. On play action, it's Rodgers. Looking deep for Adams. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Slow. Under.
On 2nd down, here's Griffin. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
I can't believe they let you play.
To throw is RG3. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. On 3rd down, here's Jones. And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Now it's Lockett. 12 yards on the return that time. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They go play action here on 1st down. He'll buy some time right. This will be caught inside the 10. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. That one goes for 24 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's got the big tight end, Graham. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. Yeah, he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it all culminates with a Seattle score. Out to kick is Janikowski. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our 1st half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. To throw is Rodgers. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the 1st down. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Rodgers now on 1st down. Drops it to Jones in the flat. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there at 22. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. On 1st down, Rodgers. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Lance Kendricks, there. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Rodgers to Cobb, good for a Green Bay first.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Rodgers now on 1st down. That's complete over the middle to Stewart. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts to...
And this is going to be intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
After the interception, here's Griffin. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. He's got the tight end, Madden. And down he'll go at the 25. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Here's Griffin. Now he'll escape to his left. He may try and run for this.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They'll run it here with Blunt. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. As the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Marquette King now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Nine seconds to play, likely the final snap of the first half as it's 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. And now a timeout defensively after that 1st down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1 after the loss to start out. Here's 2nd and 11. And they'll indeed take a knee. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll get back with you shortly. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend around the NFL. Some very intriguing games in that early window, highlighted by the one going on at the Superdome. A big test for the Saints as they get set to host the Philadelphia Eagles. More good stuff later in the afternoon, one being down in the desert, where it'll be the Cardinals at home in Glendale, taking on the Oakland Raiders. And finally, on Cyber Monday, put away the credit card and join Monday Night Football as the Titans pay a visit to their former home in Houston. Meanwhile, in our game, just the lone touchdown accounting for all the scoring. A tight one, 7-0 is the score. And for the call of the second half, we send it back to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now...
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
On second down, Griffin. And left side here, it's Graham. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Play action, it's Griffin. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Nick Perry able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be fourth down.
That's be exactly what they were looking for coming out to start the third quarter. Get a sack, get off the field, get the momentum going in their direction.
Get the ball back to your offense, right? Get that momentum because, hey, this lead is very, very slim. Now a hit and a loose football. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
It's been a struggle all game for them on offense. This was a chance to maybe provide a little bit of a spark with a punt return. Unfortunately, that spark got doused.
Yeah, and you call special teams the third phase, but you see here it can be the first phase sometimes.
That is so true, right? It can ignite it one way or the other, and boy, that didn't help them at all.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now Griffin. Flush to his right. Now look out, Griffin hit and he lost the football. It's loose. And this is going to be Packer football. He was back there forever. You got to get rid of the football there.
I mean, the amount of time he had was probably double what you normally have to throw the football, and he doesn't find anyone, so you're exactly right. He's got to get rid of it. But the next question I would have is, what were the receivers doing? In that amount of time, someone's got to find their way open.
Because the normal time, 3.5 seconds to get rid of it.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, and they really doubled that. That's not supposed to happen where he still has the football, and he ends up losing it.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at the 40. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Rodgers. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'll follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. The Packers on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. Rodgers now to throw. Man open. That's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through, picking up the first.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, he had to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, churning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal. On third down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable third down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. Oh, good move. And now running right through it. And he'll take it all the way out near the 30-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Steps away to his left. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Now Blunt. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. The first-round pick, Jair Alexander, making the tackle. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see.
And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is run out on this third quarter of play. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth and final quarter. The Seahawks on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 14. Griffin. Escaping the pressure right. And he finds Jimmy Graham. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. From the gun, it's Griffin. Trying to improvise. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. the play fake. Here's Griffin. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground.
All right, everybody in the house had to figure that was going to be a 1-yard plunge. I know I was fooled. How about you?
Absolutely. I had to readjust my eyes when it was a play fake. Good job defensively, though, to not bite.
Too bad that didn't end the series. They still have to hold in there.
They go play action. Griffin. Flushed out right. And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up fourth. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. This is Cobb with a catch right side. Randall Cobb on the breakaway. Touchdown, Packers. Randall Cobb, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are back within a score. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. Now Griffin. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Jake Ryan in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Caught on the left side by Benjamin. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On 3rd down, Griffin. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1 play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1 play.
And Rodgers is going to go down in the end zone. It's a safety. And that disastrous play partner is ultimately going to seal their fate in this one, isn't it?
It certainly is, because they gave up the 2 points, but that's not really what did it. It's having to give up the football. And because they gave up the football, guess what? The other team now can take the ball and close this game out.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. This is fielded at the 7. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, and that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Oh, Griffin's going to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Griffin to throw. It's caught outright by Graham. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a carry for Blunt. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee. So here we go, Charles, 3rd down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
Griffin down to a knee, and that should be the final act in this game.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to zeros. Fourth down. Here's RG3. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Seahawks, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face the Panthers next week. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, it'll be loss number 6 on the season for them. And they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.